Hades, the reluctant ruler of the underworld. In the vast pantheon of Greek gods, Hades was often misunderstood. Known as the god of the underworld, he was feared by mortals and gods alike. But his story was far more complex than one of mere darkness. Hades did not choose his role, it was thrust upon him by fate. This is the tale of how Hades came to rule the underworld, not as a tyrant, but as a god bound by duty, isolation, and an unexpected love that would shape his eternal reign. The story begins in the aftermath of the Titanomachy, the great war between the Olympians and the Titans. Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon had led the Olympian gods to victory over their father Cronus and the Titans. As the war ended, the three brothers gathered to divide the realms of the cosmos between them. Zeus, being the eldest, claimed the sky and its boundless expanse. Poseidon took the seas, with their powerful, ever-changing waves. Hades, by chance, drew the underworld, a dark, hidden place where the souls of the dead would reside. Hades was not thrilled by his new domain. The underworld, or Hades as it came to be known, was far removed from the vibrancy of the earth, the splendor of Olympus, and the beauty of the seas. It was a land of shadows, filled with the whispers of the dead, a realm where no light could reach. But Hades was not one to complain. Bound by duty, he accepted his role, knowing that someone had to maintain the balance between life and death. In the early days of his reign, Hades ruled alone, overseeing the souls of the deceased as they passed into his kingdom. The underworld was divided into different regions: the fields of Asphodel, where ordinary souls wandered in a ghostly haze; the Elysian fields, a paradise for heroes and the righteous; and Tartarus, a place of torment for the wicked. Though feared by many, Hades was not cruel. His task was to maintain order and ensure that the cycle of life and death continued as it should. He rarely left his dark kingdom, and as the years passed, he became increasingly isolated. However, the weight of loneliness grew unbearable for the god. The underworld, though vast, was a place of silence, filled only with the voices of the dead. Hades began to long for companionship, for something or someone to break the endless monotony. And that is when he saw her. Persephone, the beautiful daughter of Demeter, goddess of the harvest, often wandered through the meadows of the upper world. Her laughter echoed across the fields as she danced among the flowers, her presence bringing life and growth wherever she stepped. Hades, unseen from his realm below, watched her with a longing he had never known before. The more he saw her, the more his heart ached with a desire to have her by his side. One day, unable to bear his solitude any longer, Hades made a fateful decision. Emerging from the depths of the earth in his black chariot, he seized Persephone and brought her to his kingdom. The abduction was swift, but it sparked a chain of events that would forever change both the underworld and the mortal world. Demeter, upon discovering her daughter was missing, was devastated. She searched the earth for Persephone, her grief causing the once fertile fields to wither and die. Crops failed, and a great famine spread across the land. Zeus, seeing the suffering of mortals, commanded Hades to release Persephone, but by then it was too late. Persephone had eaten the seeds of a pomegranate, the fruit of the underworld, binding her to Hades and his realm. According to the ancient laws, anyone who consumed the food of the underworld could never fully leave. Hades had not meant to trap her, but now he could not let her go entirely. A compromise was reached. Persephone would spend half the year with her mother, Demeter, in the upper world, where the earth would bloom and flourish under her care. The other half she would spend with Hades as queen of the underworld. This cycle explained the changing seasons: spring and summer when Persephone was above, and fall and winter when she returned to the underworld. Though their marriage had begun in darkness, over time Persephone and Hades formed a bond. Persephone grew into her role as queen, bringing light and order to the shadows. She helped guide the souls of the dead, offering them comfort and peace in their final resting place. Hades, once the lonely ruler, found solace in her presence. He was no longer alone. Hades was still feared, but he was no longer seen as a heartless god. He became known as a just ruler, one who ensured that every soul found its rightful place. He was a god who understood the weight of responsibility and the burden of ruling over the dead. In the end, Hades' story is not just one of darkness, but of duty, balance, and an unexpected love that brought warmth to even the coldest of realms. Though his kingdom was one of shadows, Hades ruled not with cruelty, but with fairness and respect for the natural order of life and death. And in Persephone, he found the light that would forever illuminate his underworld.